Marv assembly complete.
Hey, what's up guys, Marcy here, come back to do another video commentary, and today I'm going to be doing a VOD between two very old players. You won't find them in the game anymore, but nevertheless it's a good time to take a look into how these guys played back in the day. Haven't really seen this game at all myself, so not sure what to expect of it, but it is going to be on 1.02, obviously, because it was played like almost 10 years ago. But with all that said, over here on the right hand side we have playing as a Nod faction. Didn't go in knowing what they were. It's going to be a blue Nod. Again, I don't want to open that player status screen just in case it gives away the fact that they're the winner. Okay, anyway, it's going to be blue black hand for Khufu over here, who in this game is going by his alias BestFriendEver or something like that. Anyway, down here we have vOddy playing as the Cyan Steel Talons, and in this patch Steel Talon harvesters did have a small bug where they would harvest Tiberium slightly slower. I think EA, when they developed Kane's Wrath, they built it from Tiberium Wars 1.04, and in that version of Tiberium Wars, harvesters did harvest a little slower compared to later on in the game. So yeah, they didn't make the sub-factions of GDI have the same harvesting speed as regular vanilla GDI. Anyways, we just have some scouts here for Khufu, and the map is Stusa, which is a really favourable map, as we know now, for Black Hand. Infantry rushes are really powerful. He's going to open up a pitbull here, which is to be expected, obviously. He's not committed into going into Khufu's base. I mean, he can see the war factory right now with that rifle squad in the bunker, so I guess he is well assured of what's coming. He knows that there's no infantry rush of any sort coming. He's got his two harvesters out, third one out right now, spreading them nicely just in case a Reckoner comes, though to be fair, he can get a Titan out and crush that Reckoner if it decides to deploy in his base. It will also protect him versus a Catalyst missile, which in 1.09, or pretty much since the dawn of time, Catalyst missiles being really overpowered in C&C3 and its expansion pack. The radius was pretty nuts back in the day. I guess that's why vOddy split his refinery so much. But no rush from Khufu in this game, and he's going to scare back this pitbull here with the buggy. Should be able to take that one out. In fact, it's probably going to be a close game, but no, Khufu doesn't want to commit there. Is he going for an expansion? No, he's going to tech up here. That's what you see even today on this map. Nods and Black Hands especially go for that quick tier 3 for the chemical plant, and epic unit if you're a bike rush. Anyway, vOddy down here, he's going for an airfield, so that's what his strategy is going to be, possibly looking to get some hammerheads out if you're going for AP ammo, though I guess it's kind of a upgrade that you automatically have to get versus Black Hand anyways, because of that infantry transition, which is just so strong. If you don't have AP ammo. Flame tanks coming out now for Khufu, probably looking to burn down one of the refineries and potentially use the Catalyst missile to destroy the upper one. vOddy, however, will see that fire in advance, and he is also Steel Talon, so he should be able to get a Titan out and deal with that, though it looks like he's quite content on revealing the fact that he has an airfield here. Khufu going to pull back with his flame tank. He knows he's been found out here. He does have that garrisonable structure here, so he will have advanced notice of air coming through the middle of the map. Mantis comes out though for Khufu, and he's going to take that Orca out. And Mantis in 1.02 vanilla, they had a slight pre-damage, pre-attack delay, which was quite significant then. Made Mantises a lot worse than they are now. And these Wolverines soon going to be upgraded with AP ammo. Interesting choice. Probably would want to get some Grenadier squads out as well, just to clear out these bunkers if Khufu decides to go for infantry. But looks like Khufu just going to tech up here to probably one clicks. Let's see his FOV right now, just to see if that's the case. No, he's going straight for Redeemer. And vOddy, oh, can't get out of this spectator mode right now. But yeah, vOddy is pretty much in the lead right now. He probably wants to get some tech out there to deal with that Redeemer, which is coming out. Not sure if he knows what's up, but the metagame, needless to say, during this time wasn't really well understood, so these guys were just doing all sorts of things. The skill level, needless to say though, was pretty substantial. These guys were probably some of the best players this game has ever seen, and their ability to learn the game in months rather than years, like players such as myself, is one of their qualities, and it is really amazing how fast these players learnt the game. Technique nowadays, I consider him to be a really good player, but back then he was even better because he knew the strategies that we all do now. He was the one who found them out to begin with. For example, that 1 refinery 2 harvester all in that every Nod faction does in the mirror, that is what Technique, to my knowledge, discovered. He found out those builds and abused them. Anyway, these 2 Mantises here are going to block the passage of the Orcas. Purifier 1 is in the base. Does he have a command post for that sonic repulsion field just so he can keep this refinery alive? Is he can get this refinery? No, he's not going to get it anyways. Almost punished though. Did vOddy sell that too? No, he didn't. Probably was stalled for funds anyway. But Harvest is going to get chased back here. The turn circles in this 1.02 is pretty substantial as well. For some reason, CGF in the bug fix patch, well, so-called bug fix patch, it's not anymore, let's be fair, but he made turn circles smaller for every single unit in the game. I understand why he done it, just to make units feel more responsive, but it does kind of reduce the overall skill ceiling of the game, because players who don't micro so well don't need to carefully click behind their units to reduce the turn circle, unlike players with more micro can do that. It does overall affect the skill ceiling a little bit, but yeah, vOddy's really committed to these Orcas. He should probably go for hard points, which he has already got right now. He's going for triple airfield Orca. That is pretty substantial. But since Khufu has that tier 3, he can get tip core for his Mantis. I don't think Mantis is going to cut it though. You can probably quickly snipe those Mantis and scare back this Redeemer, which currently has no garrisons inside of it. Purified Cuss does get reclaimed for vOddy. He has that under his control. Couple Wolverines as well. Flame Tank will be pretty devastating around the side, but since vOddy has fast response in the form of Orcas, he's going to be fine. There's going to be no threat from Venoms because, of course, Khufu is Blackhand in this game. As you can see, Khufu got his economy up here. He can easily probably snipe this Redeemer facility if he wants, to be honest, which he's going to do right now. And even the fence shouldn't be able to save this. And going to get chased down on the retreat by the Mantis. Oh my god. A couple of those Orcas going down, fortunately not taking as much splash damage as they could have there. And got a mixed army composition of Wolverines plus Rockets here. The Rockets presumably to deal with this Redeemer. I reckon that if Harvest here, it looks like it was either, but it's not. I guess Harvester bugging of sort. Buggy Scout in here for Khufu, probably going to do a 1-click, but vOddy seems to have already anticipated it, going for a 3rd refinery. However, he has put it in range of the other one, which will also get clicked, so 2 refineries we could potentially go down for vOddy, disrupting his eco quite a bit. Khufu doesn't seem to have identified that right now, unless he's building it right now. That chemical plant looks like it's building way too slow to be anything else. Yeah, he's going for it right now, and if he loses vision here, he can always just throw down a decoy, which Technique does nowadays. But yeah, he's going to lose a vision now, as that structure's not garrisoned. But yeah, it might actually make a difference if he only clicks this refinery, because he has not enough vision. So yeah, vOddy catching a lucky break there actually. Not sure if Khufu realized that there was 2 refineries, one of them next to the other one, but yeah. Tiberium chemical plant, going to throw down the C-Tiberium. That does return you more Tiberium than what the chemical plant's worth, and also bear in mind the chemical plant when sold grants you $1,500 plus a Black Hand Squad, which in itself costs $900 to train from the barracks. 700 if you 750 if you draft it from a tier 2. But yeah, Rocket Squad's being destroyed right now, and vOddy's army, where has it gone? He's going for Mammoth tanks at the moment. Looks like his army's being relocated at the top here. Bit of positioning and maneuvering going on for Khufu, who is now going for Spectres, which is a really good choice considering how there's chokes on this map, and you can probably get a decent amount of splash damage done on those narrow choke points. And yeah, spikes on this map as well provide long-term eco. Taking them out would be of the utmost priority. Looks like vOddy has taken out one of his opponent's spikes here, and he's in all sorts of trouble right now because he has nothing to really stop these purifiers, and the Mantis And that Orca is definitely going down. Unusual to see Mantis being trained versus Orcas. Nowadays you would see Bike Buggy, but perhaps on a map like this it's better because it's the narrow choke points, as I said before. Tip Vane comes down. That's going to do pretty substantial damage to the Harvesters, and the Redeemer looks like going to come in here. vOddy not targeting the Mantis. He probably could have just targeted those for his trouble there. Instead going all in out for the Redeemer. That could be GG for vOddy right now because he has nothing really to stop this. He has the Mammoth tanks coming in pursuit of this Redeemer. Can he escape though with this Redeemer? Khufu, he's moving or trying to move back with it. He does have double engineers inside of it, so he will get some self-repair. He doesn't have the ability to cloak it either because he is Black Hand, so no cloaking for him. 3 Purifiers marching into the base of vOddy. He's going to be forced to sell up here. He's going to lose his MCV as well. Selling up the tier 2. Getting a grenade squad out of that, but yeah, he's not going to have EMP grenades because he is Steel Talons, which is going to suck for him. And the Mantis here going to really scare away these Orcas, of which vOddy only has 3 right now. He's continuing to go for more Orcas. I mean, he has no choice right now. The Marv is out. No garrisons, unfortunately, for vOddy. And the Mammoth tanks here going to chase them back. So yeah, it looks like Khufu's a bit cornered right now. Khufu, he has been left to his own devices, however. He is pretty much untouched at this base. He can make probably a good infantry transition out of this. vOddy getting a decent engagement here. If he can somehow take these Purifiers HoF back, he's going to be looking really good in this game. vOddy effectively using the adaptive armor as well. Can't really underestimate vOddy's micro. I reckon he was probably one of the best players in the game when it came to micro in this game. But yeah, 1 Purifier at home for Khufu. He's going to get another Redeemer out right now. And what is his plan B? Is he going to go for EMP buggies? Not sure what he has up his sleeve, but yeah, vOddy, despite him having no eco, he does have the army advantage, especially considering how he has mass Orca right now. Typical may be Khufu's only option, but I guess he just didn't do it this game. But this map's going to be filled up with a couple engineers. And because there's no EMPing here, a bit capability for Khufu, he's going to be struggling to deal with this Marv. He can probably pump out infantry, go for Black Hand Strength, which is infantry, but Steel Talons, they have a very effective counter in the form of the Wolverine, which is, I'd argue, the best anti-infantry unit in the game, especially if you consider the damage output that they do is pretty substantial. They're actually really good versus vehicles as well. You can kind of soft counter Scorpion tanks and such with those Wolverines. They're especially good versus Bike Buggy as well, as long as you don't get them EMP'd by the Breeder Buggies. But yeah, vOddy continuing out with the Mass Orca. He's done a good job with those. Has he got any veteran C ranks on them? A couple ranks here and there. Marv coming in here for vOddy. He's going to just poke in and out of this base, and Purifier Husk as well. vOddy has smartly positioned a Mammoth tank there as well. Engineer, don't know where that came from, but this buggy's probably gonna take it out if no, he actually will escape there, and the combat engineer gonna grab himself a Purifier Husk. Meanwhile, the Redeemer here looks like it's gonna get taken out by these Orcas. Looks like vOddy wants to suicide in all of this right now, and the Redeemer, has it used its rage? I don't think it has, because there's literally, or maybe it has because of the amount of damage that Mammoth tank's already received. Rockets inside of this ground small structure are definitely going to do some work on this map, but it has too many engineers inside of it. It's just going to soak up all that damage dealt by that bunker. And how is Khufu going to come back from this? I mean, he really should go for EMP coils. He hasn't done that though. vOddy, is he going to continue to go for those Orcas right now? He doesn't have an MCV. In fact, scratch that, he does have that right now. And it's looking really dire actually for Khufu. Probably sell this chemical plant if he's having funds difficulty, but yeah, 2 things that Khufu could do in this game, one of which is go for the Black Disciple upgrade and transition to infantry, seeing how there's very limited anti-infantry on the map for vOddy, and alternatively he could go for the EMP cores and Bike Buggy. But it's easy me saying that right now, but I've been playing this game for how many years? Compare that to the amount of experience that these guys had at the time, which is pretty much hardly anything. So you can excuse these faults, and you can, I mean, you can be too critical in 2018 of games played like many years ago, but you just have to look at the raw skill of these guys. You can see that they're making the right decisions. The decisions that they're not making right is usually due to probably them not remembering their upgrades, which is completely understandable. And yeah, Khufu, he's going to go back again once for that Redeemer. He doesn't have many harvesters right now. He has 2 of 3. In fact, they're all being ordered to harvest at this Tiberium field. Not sure if Khufu specifically ordered that there. I guess he did because his harvesters in Tiberium field was getting camped. Titan's going to be the unit of choice here for Khufu. He's going to activate the adaptive armor there, which will allow his Titans to withstand more damage. Rockets from the Redeemer, not really powerful, though it will provide some nice anti-air support. But yeah, he's going to get all of his Orcas taken out there. vOddy, what are you doing? I think that was completely unnecessary. He could have easily gone in here and sniped a harvester, but no, it looks like Khufu is doing a good job here with his positioning and micro as well. He's not going to allow those Orcas to do damage in this game. This Marv is never going to need to go back to base for repairs because it does have quad engineer inside of it. So it's going to be life for days. And yeah, a rig, really? So it looks like we got a rig for vOddy right now. Very interesting choice. Maybe he had a couple harvesters that he had to heal up or something. But I've been experimenting recently with rigs as well, and I feel that they're very underrated units. In 1.02 plus, the unpack delay animation has been radically reduced, as you can see. So those pack up a little bit slower in this patch. Also, if you haven't noticed, the Guardian cannons in the base game don't have the railgun visual upgrade. It's not, you can't see it on the rig itself, whereas CGF actually managed to fix that in 1.02 plus. You've done a lot of things actually in the patch. One other thing I noticed that slingshots that are heroic, that have tungsten, also have a proper heroic tracer, which is kind of nice as well. That obelisk could one-shot that rig, but yeah, it looks like vOddy just going to deploy here right now. It's not the best deployment because both of his Guardian cannons won't be in range. The Guardian cannons of the rig, if both of them in range, do the same damage as an unupgraded Marv tank, which is quite a lot actually. Over here, the Marv and a couple Marv tanks slash Titans going to go in here for a slight counter attack. Rockets being produced now for Khufu, who I guess is a Nod player. I don't think he played very much Black Hand based on this game. I'd say his style would more suit Nod with his stealth. But Marv coming in right here, he pretty much has nothing to deal with this. He's probably going to go for a secret shrine now, I'd imagine. Let's see what he's got planned. Khufu at the moment. He's going once again for that Redeemer. And vOddy, he's managed to pump out more of those Orcas once again. He's almost harvested this entire Tiberium field as well. This building going to be claimed by Khufu. And he's going to go straight for vOddy's base right now, who has literally nothing there right now to stop it. He's going to also escort this with a couple Mantis, and vOddy seems to be content on spamming out those Mantis. Nowadays we know that Hammerheads are a very, very good late game option versus Black Hand. And yeah, because he has doesn't have Black Disciples, those rockets will be surprising actually how much cannon damage they do absorb, considering they have no upgrades anyway. But yeah, Orca's going to get taken out here, so that's pretty much vOddy's only defense versus this. He's going to recall his army, but his Marv right now, it is going to be down here doing a pretty big amount of damage. But yeah, it could be easily scared back if he made some infantry, but I guess vOddy has the quick option of going for a triple airfield hammerhead, which is no joke. Rage Gen Prink, that was a pretty much bit premature actually. He's going to leave this to die right now. I don't think there's anything that he can do. Maybe he can go around the War Factory or MCV, but nope, that's not going to be an option because Titans do shoot over buildings, and that Redeemer is dead meat right now. Marv right now continuing to put pain onto this base. He's going to lose it though if he's not paying attention. He's getting shot up by 2 obelisks, which is going to inflict tons of damage here. And once again, he has that Redeemer facility, which he hasn't opted to sell. Usually I sell it nowadays because I don't really lose my epic. Well, I do lose my epic, but I don't. If you lose your epic, typically nowadays you lose the game. That's why I sell it. But yeah, this Marv has ranked up. God, let's get taking out all these rockets as well. Khufu not microing. He's never going to kill that, so yeah, he's going to retreat right now. And vOddy has lost a fair few of his harvesters. He's got 2 of 3 right now. He's also managed to regrow his Tiberium at this field as well, which is very important to note. Meanwhile, Khufu is pretty much dry out of Tiberium. He has Sea Tiberium to fuel his fight for a little longer, but really, he's going to be having difficulty versus a fully upgraded Steel Talons right now. And vOddy He's done an excellent job in this game, considering that he had bugged harvesters, and he would probably have about 20% eco, less eco overall in the first 5 to 10 minutes. I say the bug matters less the longer the game goes on, because the limiting factor then becomes the refineries and the amount of Tiberium that's on the map. And yeah, if you harvest it quicker, then of course if one bad engagement and you really can't replace that army that you just lost. So that's the problem with that. And yeah, that's a bit of rage gen there. It's going to inflict some damage. He does have an elite Mammoth tank right now, which has a real chance of going heroic. You're never going to see heroic Titans though in 1.02, the base game, because they had a bug where it took the same experience as a Mammoth tank to rank up. So that was pretty bad. And also granted so much experience to enemy units at the same time, which is bad. And how fast do these mobs actually heal with 4 engineers inside of it? It heals quite fast. I'd say it's probably the same as War Factory repair overall. So it's probably like having your mob near a War Factory the whole time. This is going to destroy 1 refinery here. But vOddy's probably quickly going to destroy that. Not so damaging as you might think, because the majority of the Tiberium for him is down here in this bottom base. Marv going to sit here and get some more repairs. vOddy going to play the passive patient game here, which is what he should do. And if I were vOddy, I'd probably put some harvesters on stop move right now. Sorry, Khufu. He's going finally for the infantry upgrades. So I guess he was well aware of it, it's just it wasn't part of his original plan to go for infantry. Nowadays we know that a mixed army comprising of infantry, purifiers, and the Redeemer, etc. is the way to go. But yeah, he's going to have his infantry upgrade, or probably not for a while. It's not going to be relevant in this fight if Khufu decides to waste all these rocket squads. But yeah, he's going to need to sell his barracks or Hand of Nod here, or maybe draft something for those cabals so he can grant the aura for his infantry, which does buff the rate of fire and hit points of those rocket squads, as far as I know. Space command uplink for vOddy, and you can tell that he hasn't used these shockwave artillery because this rocket here is ready to fire from the space command uplink. Firehawk's out on the field for vOddy as well. He's going to be destroying something here. I think that was a war factory. It could have been a refinery though, probably a refinery, because I remember he had 2 there. But yeah, Khufu, he's really almost dry out of Tiberium. He's going to have to make something happen really quick, because is this even Blue Flame what he's going for? It just seems so slow to be anything else. He's going for Blue Flame. Why is he going for Blue Flame? I guess because he thinks that he's probably not, and he needs 2 upgrades for his infantry. He probably thought that that was Tiberium Infusion and the other one was Confessors. I mean, I'm guessing that's what he was thinking there, but it's not exactly that. And these Firehawks could probably punish him here and take out that Secret Shrine. I'm surprised he didn't do that actually, but he has Blue Flame right now. He can probably make a flame tank. But having said that, considering how vOddy has units literally everywhere, I doubt that flame tanks are going to work on this map. I mean, any other map, yeah, I can imagine flame tanks doing something, but here, I doubt it. 2 Tiberium spikes also still remain for vOddy, so he's going to be doing pretty well in this game. It's going to ultimately be up to vOddy to lose a pretty big engagement if he's going to lose this game, but we'll see. He's going to still continue to bomb this base with Firehawks, come in, bomb, and then teleport out, which is what he's going to do right now. And that is how I also use the Firehawks. And vOddy being a Zocon player, or he was, he knew how to do the Firehawk play probably better than anyone else back in the day. But yeah, no infantry here. These Titans and Mav Tanks are going to have a field day, especially with the composite armor, or what's it called? Yeah, the adaptive armor. He's going to absorb those EMP blasts if Khufu decides to make some EMP buggies. So yeah, Khufu, he's still in it, I think, right now. I don't think so. Does he have his Redeemer? Yeah, he has his Redeemer right now. I mean, if you can try and kill this army somehow and get an engagement done, but it looks like that Redeemer Rage did absolutely nothing at all, because I guess those units already acquired the targets on the Redeemer. And the Marv once again going to come to this base. He's got so much hit points which he can tank versus this infantry force. He should be able to take that out. Firehawks out again, once again. Gonna probably bomb the rest of Khufu's infrastructure. Is that even a Mammoth tank there that's gone heroic? Looks like the last shot of that. The last shot went to the Mammoth tank, which will go heroic. And that was a pretty decent game, action-packed. One thing I could say about that game is that Khufu probably should have gone for the you know, the upgrades for his infantry. He didn't go for Black Disciples, which was a pretty big mistake, but with all that said, pretty interesting game nonetheless. I thought that vOddy was certainly out of it, considering how he lost so many Orcas in one engagement and those Purifiers into his base, man. I thought that was him dead, but yeah, he managed to sandwich Khufu between into that top left expansion, and he lost his entire army there. So yeah, that was a pretty good game. Could have been either player's game there throughout. I mean, you can see that the eco was relatively even throughout. vOddy took a few hits here. The one click could have been a lot worse for him as well, because two refineries were close together. Don't think Khufu reacted quick enough. He could have probably sealed the deal there. If he got both those refineries, it would have been too damaging for vOddy. But with all that said, that was a pretty decent game. I hope you guys enjoyed this VOD. I'm going to be casting some other games now, because I'm interested to see how these games went back in the day. And yeah, stay tuned, because I'm going to be bringing more old school VODs. You might even see this become a daily thing. So yeah, this is Master Leaf. Peace out.